Hi, I'm Jo Welch. I'm a yoga teacher and have a special interest in yoga for mental health.
Thank you. Thanks, Jo. Today, obviously, we saw you teaching your practice with the ladies, and it was such a relaxed practice from ones I've seen or been to. There was not a lot of jumping around or difficult stretches. So that was quite lovely. So that is mainly for the elderly, the ones, or there's different types that you do?
Yeah, different types. I teach gentle yoga, so it doesn't matter what age you are. Not every style of yoga is going to be right for you. So by slowing the movements down and giving people lots of options and variations as we go along, whatever their ability is in their body or however they're feeling energetically, there's something that they can adapt, that they can move into the poses, feel some effect on their body and their mind. So not just for older people, it's open to everyone.
Fantastic. And even individuals who may have some kind of a disability can still participate.
Yeah, definitely. What you'll find if people are looking for yoga, I genuinely believe that everyone can do yoga and find a yoga class for them. But there are some very energetic styles that suit people who are looking for a more sporty approach to it. If you find a teacher that breaks the postures down and can offer you options like using a chair, using support, doing seated postures instead of standing postures, then you can do something very similar to what the rest of the class is doing, or have a one-to-one session specifically tailored to your needs and get all the benefits out of yoga that are right for you.
Wow, that's so awesome. So you would offer this one-to-one, isn't it?
Yeah, I do.
Awesome.
If people want individual attention, or maybe there's something that they struggle with in class, if they come for an individual session, then I can talk about what they should be doing when I'm saying something to the general class, what they need to be doing for them, and we can work through that and see what their body is able to do.
Wow, that's amazing. Also, I've got quite a nice list of questions for you here, but we'll just go through them nice and slow. So on the first one, on your website, which I hadn't, to be honest, it's interesting that when you look at people's website, you never really look at everything. You just look at the pictures and not website, Facebook actually is where I found this.
Okay.
So on there, it has an awesome bio about you. And it says that in your bio, you've led such a colorful life, interestingly. You started business and marketing, worked for IBM, then you decided to drop all that and went to study drama. And so why the change from business and marketing to a life on the stage?
So acting is something that I enjoyed from a very young age, and it was a passion of mine. And finding an amateur group with very standards and still feeling that that I enjoyed that and loved that, I suddenly realised I wasn't fulfilled in the business world, and why not follow my dream? So I went off to drama school and did a year's study, and for a few years did some acting jobs whilst I was temping, doing some business things. I had a wonderful time. I didn't make any money, but it was very much following my dream. And then coming back to business, I tried to find something in the acting world, so bringing those two skills together. And similar thing happened then with yoga. So whilst working in the business environment, went along to a yoga class with a friend. She said, yeah, just come and do this class. So I was thinking it was just a fitness class at lunchtime, and I fell in love with it. Immediately felt very empowered by the postures that we were striking these poses. I was going through a tricky time in my life, and it really helped me. So I then found another yoga class, realized there are different styles, different approaches, and after many years, I've been practicing now for 20 years, after many years I decided I was going to do a teaching course just to find out more about yoga, totally for myself, to explore yoga in more depth. However, halfway through that teaching course, I felt that it was something I really wanted to take out to the world and share with other people. So once again, changed course, and gradually over time started running my own yoga classes, and then decided I was going to make that my full-time job.
Amazing. Wow. Very colorful life, and quite brave too to follow your dreams. I think many people don't always, they feel, what's the word? I can't even think now. Difficult, where finance being the big thing. So as you said, you did the drama but didn't really get paid, but you were doing it more for the love and tempting to subsidize your passion.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I really believe that if you are having to work just to earn the money to pay the bills, then there's no value in your life. You've got to get that work-life balance right. So finding something that you really believe in and are passionate about, if you can make that work for you, even if it's doing a job alongside it and then doing your dream job part-time, then I think you will feel better, you will offer more to other people, your life will be happier. So I really encourage people to take that step. And you're right, it is difficult, it's brave. You have to step out of your comfort zone and maybe be prepared that the path is not going to be easy or comfortable, and that maybe you're going to earn less for a little while, but you will be so much more fulfilled in the long term.
That's interesting, because in a sense it will stop more mental health issues, because like most people would get stressed, depressed mostly because you're stuck in a dead-end job perhaps.
Yes.
And you don't like it, you hate it, but you do say to pay bills.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get into this cycle, and it can make you really unhappy and cause mental health issues. When you think of how much time we spend at work, then that's a big proportion of our life, and if it's not making us happy but it's having an adverse effect on our health, it can affect your mental and your physical health, because it will then go into the body. If you're stressed and anxious, you'll start getting issues, shoulder, backache, headaches. So many people suffer from this, and then it can lead on to depression, feeling really unhappy. And the further down into that cycle you get, the harder it is to break. So I would really encourage people to find something in your life that you find fulfilling and makes you happy.
Wow. So your divine right, your divine calling.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe we're all put on this earth for some purpose, but sometimes it's hard to discover what. It takes a while.
It does, absolutely. Wow. And you were fortunate enough to be brave to do it. So, wow, interestingly, and also just to slightly draw back there, you had a name, it said Joanna Chase. Was that your stage name?
Yes, it was. Yes. Originally my name was Butt, B-U-T-T, so I was right at the top of the alphabet. And then I married a Young and a Welch, so I was right down the bottom of the alphabet. So my stage name, I wanted to go right back up there to be at the top of the alphabet again.
Very good. Oh my word. So definitely wanting to be center stage. Awesome. Not only did you stay in the stage, you also worked for the ITV, Meridian, and the BBC. So how interesting. Were you an actress there as well, or you were doing something different?
So it's very much behind the scenes. So I worked in television as a production assistant, bringing everything, the logistics together, organising shoots, organising studios and arranging editing. So I loved being in that world, and it's a great balance between the yoga and television. So I still do some live work for the BBC, working on their news programme as a floor manager. So you get all the adrenaline of live television and the pressure, which I quite enjoy, being able to walk away from and then do my yoga to feel nice and relaxed. So it's a balance.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. So basically, was TV also your passion or just the stage?
The stage is always my first love.
Okay.
Yeah. And television was something that was on my doorstep that I could work in, and it still had that creative feel about it.
Okay. So you were headhunted, or you kind of drew your attention to it?
So it was through temping that I first got to work for Meridian Broadcasting, and that kind of evolved into a maternity cover for 6 months, and then being offered a full-time job. And the BBC in Southampton needed some part-time work after hours for their evening news programme. So I started doing that for them as well. So at one time I was working for ITV and the BBC.
My gosh.
And I've kept that up as a job which can subsidise the yoga.
My word, that's awesome. Gosh, that is, that's about passion, isn't it? Follow your passion, and it leads to unfulfilled, things you never thought would be fulfilled.
Yeah.
Wow. So, on the next one, we're going back now to the book, which you were so kind to participate in as well. So in the book Nature Heals, you mentioned several benefits of yoga on one's mental health. For example, you mentioned that yoga can support with flexibility for anxiety and stress, anger, depression, and mood swings. Please, can you give us a brief example for each of these? How doing yoga as a weekly or daily exercise can help a person with the above mentioned conditions?
Yes, certainly. So a lot of people come to yoga thinking it is a physical exercise only, and indeed yoga is brilliant for the body. The lovely thing about yoga compared to some other types of exercise is it's very much about the connection between the mind and the body. So the movements, the postures, the shapes that we make in yoga, we're always encouraging students to come inside and feel how their body is feeling, how it's affecting their emotions, their moods, how it's making them feel mentally. And there's a lot of mindful movement being encouraged in that. So for example, if somebody is feeling anxious and stressed, they might come to a class quite tense. The idea is to relax the muscles and get this communication going between the brain and the body. So the brain senses, oh, the muscles are relaxed, I can feel calmer. If you can talk to people and think about breathing slower, being calm, it sends messages back to the body. Okay, I can relax, I can slow down, the heart can slow. So it's this communication we're trying to get going both directions. Alternatively, if you've got a very low mood, coming to a yoga session, you start getting movement into the body, and this fires up the system. You start, any exercise can generate this feeling of lifting the mood. Physical movement starts stimulating the vagus nerve, which threads all through the body, again sending messages back to the brain, and the feel-good hormones are released, the feel-good chemicals are released, and so it will lift the mood. And the idea in Hatha Yoga, which I teach, is these two different energies, the outgoing, raised energy and the lower, slower, still energy are balanced. So however you come into a yoga class, we do opening postures, we do closing postures, we do energetic, we do calming, so that by the end you'll be more on an even keel.
Wow. So in a sense, you go in feeling low and you come back a different person.
Yeah, the idea of yoga is that you come in and there will be a transformation.
Wow.
You will leave the class feeling different. And I haven't had people leaving a class looking troubled or feeling worse. The feedback, the proof is in the feedback of the students, the calm, relaxed, peaceful look on their face, and the feedback about how much better they feel after a yoga class.
Just true. I mean, I've been in your yoga classes, and so I've been came there, I guess, tense, tired, and all other issues swimming in your head. And yes, when I come out of it, I feel very relaxed and less tense. And so it's incredible. So definitely a well-recommended exercise. As you said, your yoga is quite gentle, and when you come out, obviously you do feel the aches later, but but it's nice and gentle, so I quite enjoy it, so which is amazing. Thank you.
Good.
Also, in the book Nature Heals, you agreed that practicing yoga as an exercise regime can increase the level of the gamma amino butyric acid. I know you've already discussed this in depth in the book Nature Heals, but for the benefit of those who have yet to read the book for the full download, if you would be so kind to give us just a brief outline of what the gamma level, explain how again the increase of the level of a gamma amino butyric acid can be beneficial for everyone, not just individuals with mental health conditions.
Yes, that is correct. GABA, as it's known, is an inhibitory neurotransmitter in the brain. Now that means it's one of the chemicals that stops things, it stops messages, especially negative messages and the fear response. So we have different parts of the brain doing different things, and the reptilian part of the brain, the oldest, most ancient part of the brain, is about reactions to survive. So it's always on the lookout for problems, dangers, being safe, not doing something, signals from our external environment that could have a negative impact on you. And that was fine when we were in a very wild environment with wild animals and people trying to attack us, but that translates into the modern world and we see a bad word from our boss or a look from somebody else or a perceived danger all around us all the time. So GABA stops that, it slows that message down, and it gives us time to respond to things rather than to react to things. And there's scientific proof, evidence, research that's been done that yoga stimulates the production of GABA. So if we have more GABA in our system, we are going to feel calmer. We're going to feel more in control, less threatened, less tense, less stressed. And who doesn't need more of that?
Absolutely. And obviously by doing this in order to gain the benefit, it's really routine. So like daily, daily if you wish, but weekly where possible would be a great thing. You would agree?
The secret to gaining benefits from yoga, as with many other practices, is to do it regularly. Mm-hmm. So it would be ambitious to turn up to a yoga class and expect instant results, to think, I'm never going to be stressed again, I'm never going to be scared again. you have to be prepared to put in the work of a regular discipline. Weekly is fantastic. If you can do it more often than that, you are really going to feel the benefits. Again, it's been proven that a yoga practice twice a week is incrementally much better for you than once a week. But hey, once a week is a great start. Then over time, you are really going to feel the benefits in your life, and you'll notice yourself not getting as bothered about things which might have irritated you. You will notice being able to be more flexible in your body and your mind, adapting to things. Maybe simple tasks like putting your socks on. You might feel that it's easier than it was before, or in a challenging situation, feeling, you know what, I'm going to take my time and think about before I say something or before I respond to it. So yeah, definitely practice over time, you'll get the benefits.
Yeah, that's true actually. I think when I first came to know yoga, I was in London, 2010 or 2011 I think it was. Yes, around about then, 2011, 2010. I had this terrible eczema all over my body. It covered me, all of it was absolutely awful. And obviously there's pictures of this in my book, Nature Heals. And obviously I was depressed, stressed, because it transformed my life, my face, everything, my body. So it was just this body disfigurement. So I went to the yoga class, and it was given, I think it was by Mind or something, because it was free for people with depression or mental health. So I, as you just said, this GABA amino acid, not amino acid, GABA, whatever it is. It did really transform and change me, because by going, I think they ran the classes, they ran the classes once a week. And I went there once a week, and there was this lovely Indian lady, and she did the teachings, and she used to have I think a music at the end of it. Yeah, so she had some kind of music at the end, so she would let us sleep, and then not sleep or lie down on your mat, and then she'll play that, and that really helped my skin. I started to feel better. I was able to sleep, because I would scratch all night, and I wouldn't, with eczema, I don't know if you know, but it was absolutely nightmare. But with this yoga, as you've rightly said, it increases this GABA, and it helped. So
Amazing.
so I am a testament of what you're saying. So
that is so
amazing.
wonderful to hear stories like that, because I do hear this over and over again, and everyone is so unique.
Yeah.
So sometimes people with mental health conditions, it will start to come out in their body in different ways, and skin conditions, aches, pains, inflammation, it can often be triggered by what's going on in the brain, emotionally, and over time yoga can stimulate the right sort of chemicals in the body, and this healing occurs. We can heal ourselves.
Yeah.
It's wonderful to hear.
Absolutely. So thank you to the yoga teachers, because obviously without you, we wouldn't know, isn't it?
Yeah.
So wow, thank you. Thank you for that. So basically, the next one, I've lost my track. There, Joe. It is a marvel how you have maintained your yoga practice, and as you've mentioned, part-time at the BBC over the years. I think you said 20 plus years, isn't it? That really shows enormous commitment on your health, or for your health, and well-being. So did you always know that you wanted yoga? But I think you've explained that you ran into it by your friends, so that is quite good. So I guess we'll miss that one because you've already explained that
Yeah, you're
what
right,
drew
I
your
remember.
love to it.
Yeah,
You
so I
said,
kind of explained that, didn't I?
yeah.
Yeah.
You jumped the queue. Which is grand, yeah. So that is amazing. And thank you to your friend that she introduced you to it, which is awesome.
Definitely. Yeah.
So Joe, in the book Nature Heals, you discussed about the challenges that most yoga teachers have to overcome, that of preconceptions that people have when they think about taking up a yoga class. For example, being athletic, or if they're overweight, they think, oh no. So would you be so kind as to pull back the curtain on this fear and misconceptions that stop people exercising?
So when I talk to people about have they tried yoga, would they like to try a yoga class, one of the things I hear most often is that they're not fit enough to do that, they're not flexible, they can't touch their toes. And the whole point of yoga is that we start with what we got, with what our body offers us, and then we develop over time. We're looking for a transformation. One of my favourite sayings is saying that you're not flexible enough to do yoga is like saying you're too dirty to take a bath. The whole point of it is to make that change and then keep it up. Yeah, we want to keep taking a bath to stay clean. We want to keep doing yoga to stay flexible. But we don't start from that point. Everybody is different.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay. So basically you can't say you're too dirty to get a bath.
Exactly.
It's a very interesting saying. Okay. Wow. Okay. So no excuses.
No excuses.
Whether overweight, knee problems, joint problems, everything can be. You still can do yoga. Obviously, the joint problems won't be resolved, right? But can be eased, couldn't they?
Whatever is going on in your body, it's about finding the class that's right for you. So there are some very energetic, fast-moving classes which are not going to be right for people with joint issues, bone density issues, problems with their joints, ligaments, injuries. What you need to find is a teacher who gives time and space in the class for alternatives and encourages students to work to their limit, but recognise that limit, that edge is different from the person either side of you on their own yoga mat. So yoga is non-competitive. It's not about being the best. It is about doing your best and doing what's right for you. And that can vary from day to day as well as from person to person.
That's amazing. And obviously, the kids are all grown now, but some people may give an excuse that, oh, because I've got children or young family, etc. But as you ran from stage and then BBC and then obviously having 2 marriages, lucky you, and and still having your young son, you mentioned in your bio, how did you juggle your passion and also temping to and look after the young ones?
So I really believe that a busy person is probably the person who most needs yoga in their life.
Mm-hmm.
The Dalai Lama, I think, once said to somebody who said, I haven't got time to do an hour's meditation every day. That's the person he said, no, you need to do 2 hours meditation every day, because it actually clears the mind, clarifies you, focuses you. So carving out that time, yes, it's difficult, but I had my son doing activities on the floor whilst I did a yoga practice. He used to come and sit with me whilst I meditated, and sometimes he was very disruptive and distracting, and that became part of the practice, but I still did it. And he used to play doing yoga. then that wore off as he got older. And it's making even time for yoga snacks, a little stretch. We do a sun salutation sequence. Well, if you can do part of that and stretch out the body and feel good, and then lying in a posture at the end of the class we call Shavasana, corpse pose, lying still and giving yourself those 5-10 minutes of stillness in a day can make such a difference to how you tackle all the many things that you're juggling in life.
Wow, that's amazing. So out of many yoga practices, as you say, there's fast ones, slow ones, sauna yoga or whatever I think some people do. What drew you to the one that you are teaching?
So there are as many different types of yoga as there are teachers. Some styles very much draw on the spiritual teachings of yoga. Some, especially in the West, are very physical. There can be devotional yoga involving chanting, a lot of sitting still and meditating. So over the years I have been lucky enough to be taught by a variety of different teachers who come from different yoga lineages. So they've had different teachers handing down their teachings, and I soon discovered, although my teaching was very classical, very disciplined, that when I started teaching in the community, what I was taught was not going to be right for everyone. So I began adapting it and drawing from all of the different teachers over the years to find my own style of gentle hatha yoga, but flowing and then pausing, giving space in the classes for adaptations, for resting. And over time I've developed my own style, and that's what's important from teacher to teacher, to find someone who resonates with you, who's talking your language, and that you think, yeah, what they're saying makes sense and what they're offering is what I'm looking for.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Thank you. You were saying you're going to play something, your meditation bowl, I think you said. Okay. So the bowl, it is like your meditation bowl?
This is called a singing bowl, and it can be used for meditation. And there's different ways of playing a singing bowl, but you can create a sound from it, which is a strong vibration that you really feel through the body. So if you're in person with one of these bowls, you feel the vibrations. They're all slightly different notes. This one is stimulates the heart area, and listening to this sound can be very soothing to the mind. And you can also use it as a chime. And that sound will slowly fade away. It'll actually last quite a long time. But that can be used to stimulate, again, if you think about how much water there is in the body, and sound stimulates water. If you've ever put water into a bowl like this, it literally is jumping up and down. So again, we're looking for that transformative energy, that movement in the body, getting everything moving, and it can have a really lovely effect.
So you do that with the yoga students, or this is just yours?
Yeah, I do that sometimes at the end of a yoga class, especially if I've offered a restorative session. Restorative yoga is about holding postures but with support of blankets and pillows, and that's really nice to lay back and hear the sound, the vibration. It's like a sound bath,
Wow.
very soothing to the nervous system.
My goodness, gosh. So is this part of your hatha yoga practice, or is it an inclusion?
That would be an addition to the hatha yoga. So hatha is a very physical practice. So the meditation and things like music, sound is added on to that.
So I guess, like, with obviously we can't forget where we're at with this COVID pandemic. The singing bowl, because I felt it was quite nice, the vibration and stuff, where people, especially the frontline staff, are so tense and stressed and everything else. So by listening to this bowl or playing it themselves or ringing it themselves, would that support their stress or?
Yeah, the mind likes to have something to focus on. So sometimes if you say to somebody, right, sit and meditate, it's good for you, that can be the hardest thing in the world, and the mind says, oh, quiet, stillness, I'm going to be super busy. So something which will help you to ease into the idea of stillness and quietness, like music, like a tone to listen to, let everything else fade away, and then sometimes we can find that stillness. And the mind is still going to think of things. That happens during meditation, but you'll be in a more relaxed state of mind that you're able to say, okay, that thought can go away for now. I'll let that drift away. It can wait till later. And then bring the mind back to this gentleness that we're always trying to find, this inner stillness and bliss.
Wow. And as you said, it deals with the settling of the fluid in your body. So the mind also has fluid, doesn't it?
Yeah, the body it's something like 60 to 80% of made up of water, depending on our age. So if you can have an effect on the liquid that's in our body, then you're affecting the whole of all of the systems and making them function more optimally.
And more so the mind, if you were depressed or stressed, especially with the frontline staff, nurses, doctors, this
Yes,
would help.
Definitely. Anything that can help them find an escape from the everyday life, to come into the inner selves and know that at the heart, the soul of everybody, there is peace, there is stillness. It's rediscovering that rather than being this continued stimulation from external factors.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you. So the bowl, has it got a special name or a special practice, or?
So this one is a Tibetan singing bowl, and it's made from different metals, but you can get singing bowls made out of crystal from all over the world, and different things have been done in order to create them, and they all have slightly different effects on the body.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much, Jo. Any lasting words of wisdom?
I think I would finish by reinforcing the idea that yoga can be a benefit for everyone. Whether you're struggling with your mental health, whether you don't feel that your body is as fit as you would like it to be, or whether you feel in optimum condition, it's about keeping that balance in your life. So coming along and feeling a sense of community, finding that mind-body connection which helps us deal with all sorts of challenges in our life has got to be a benefit to everyone.
Thank you so much, Jo, for your time today and for allowing me to film your yoga class. Thank you and have a good day.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.